I kicked my shoes off on the stage and I said, fuck you, you big-headed ass motherfucker. And I just started going. I just said everything that was, and it's almost like I blacked out because when I came to, people were on their feet screaming, going, get him, get him, get him.
In your comedy, you're very good at sort of attacking what you think people will say about you and then turning it on them, which to me, yeah, that takes a great deal of confidence. Like, it's so many of your, your performances where you started off talk about your height, be like, I already know, I got a big foot, I'm a big bitch. Like, you always kind of go there. How did you get comfortable exposing these insecurities?
Girl, that's a good question, girl. Let me tell you. I always say it's my 8 Mile moment. You know what I'm saying? You can't talk worse about me than I can talk worse about me. You know what I'm saying? Let me give you some real jokes because you don't know what the fuck is really funny about me. But I'm going to be honest with you. I wasn't doing that before. I was telling jokes, but I don't think I was really talking about myself. And Corey Holcomb?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. He done roasted me.
Oh my God, Corey Holcomb,
yeah.
You either hate Corey Holcomb, or you love him. And it's because that's the type of comedy he got.
Yeah, I can say Holcomb, I'm not a fan.
Look, not most women are.
Right.
Not what most women are. He will say in a minute, I hate bitches. And I remember being in the airport with him one day going, why you hate women so much? Like, he was like, because they just fuck bitches, man. It's like, who hurt you, Corey? Who hurt you? But Corey Holcomb is actually the person. One day he talked about my feet. He roasted me about my feet. I had on some sandals, and I probably shouldn't have had them sandals on. And he talked about my feet. I didn't speak to that motherfucker for like 3-4 months. And, I didn't speak to, and then we saw each other at Kim Whitley's room. And I had, me, I was like, motherfucker, you don't know me. You don't be talking about me, motherfucker. I don't play that shit. I don't be out here running the dozens with you dirty ass niggas. I don't be doing that shit. So you don't be talking about my motherfucking feet. I don't give a fuck. And you know what Corey did? He's like, your feet still big, and ran off. So it was just like hilarious, right? So we did this gig together, and we came to a point to where, like, I forgave him. We just was good. And he said to me, he was like, yeah, I talked about your feet, but why don't you talk about your feet? He's like, why? And I told him, because I have a complex. I used to play basketball. And he's like, you used to play basketball? He's like, how come none of that is on the stage, Leslie? He was like, you got to start doing those jokes. He's like, those jokes is the jokes that people actually want to hear. People want to know that you're tall as fuck. People want to know that your feet is big as hell. People want to know that you know that. They don't want you walking on stage acting like you're a normal person. He was like, be you. And that is when I started just doing all of the material, just everything about me. And it's true. He was absolutely true.
Is that how you got so good at roasting people? Or have you always had that ability?
JB Smoove helped me with that one. So I got a story for everything, girl. The first time a heckler heckled me was in the Townhouse when Ronaldo Ray was the host. Remember Ronaldo Ray?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Girl, I go back. So this guy was sitting in the audience and he heckled me, man. And I was like, fuck, I didn't know how to do it. And I bombed. I just came off the stage and Ronaldo Ray was like, come here, sit right beside me. Cause I was going to leave. I was like, comics, they get the fuck out of the club when they do bad. So it's like, yeah, I'm going home. But Ronaldo was like, no. You're going to stay here and you're going to take this ass whooping. So he made me sit right beside him by the door while people were going out. And people was like, Ronaldo, oh my God, you're so funny. And they would look at me and go, you're going to be okay. You're going to figure it out. You're going to figure it. So the next week I came and the same guy was there, didn't say a word. I still bombed because I was so scared of him. And then I think I came on my birthday and it was my birthday, and this guy called me a booger bear. He called me, he said, you big old booger bear. And it was my birthday. Jemele, I was like, I'm not fucking going out like this. I kicked my shoes off on the stage and I said, fuck you, you big-headed ass motherfucker. And I just started going. I just said everything that was. And it's almost like I blacked out because when I came to, people were on their feet screaming, going, get him, get him, get him. some little dude, you know, with his friends, and I tore him up. So then when I came on stage, I was just like, oh my God, I never want to do that again. But then I ended up going to New York, and I worked with JB Smoove. And JB Smoove had a heckler. And let me tell you something, it's the most beautiful thing that I've ever seen, that this man took his joke and put this heckler in his joke and did it for 15 minutes. And I'm talking about from the people in the kitchen to everybody in the audience, we were sobbing, laughing so hard. He took a chair and dragged it all the way through the audience like that was it was so funny. So that night I rode home with him and I said, JB, I'm scared of hecklers. Like, how do I start being a good roaster? He said, hey, always say the first thing that comes to your mind because it's from God. I'm like,
okay.
And I thought he was playing. I was like, JB, don't be bringing God in this. He was like, why do you think God not in this? He was like, God talk about folks too. God be roasting us real hard. He was like, start saying the first thing that comes to your mind. And I did. It worked. Because you say that first thing, and then that means you get on, and now you're on. You're clamped on now. And just stuff just starts flowing after that. It's crazy. So now I love it. People don't even fuck with me no more though. When I walk on stage, you know, I walk on stage, I got that look like, motherfucker, I wish I will clear this motherfucker out. And they would really try it after SNL because they thought, oh, she famous, she not gonna do that. Shit. Don't mess with me. I'm crazy.
You have to let them know. I understand. So I think it's because, and by the way, I would say that, you know, when you go ham on people, you're more like Jon Snow with the sword at the battle, right? When 9,000 horses come. I would say you're more like that, right? We'll talk about Game of Thrones, but I swear, Jon Snow, the most failing upward, I don't want this job ass motherfucker ever. I'm like, why you always don't want the job? But the job it should be yours. Like, but he don't never want the job. And you'd be like,
John, see, y'all have to understand the story. John was never supposed to be king. He was always going to be king of the wild north. Because that's what he was born as. He was always going to be that. That's so funny because I would always say, damn, John, how do you not get killed? You got 9 lives.
I'm saying, though. Because he do the dumbest shit. I'm like, we can see this. Like, why you doing this?
Why you having sex with your auntie?
I mean, you know, little auntie love in Game of Thrones ain't never hurt nobody. If they got brother-sister love, I mean, clearly, auntie. Which always used to trip me out. I'm just like, so let me get this straight. You all indignant about the auntie, but everybody cool with Cersei fucking her brother though, but that's all good.
They wasn't cool with that.
Not at first, no.
Hell to that's the stuff, but you're right. That after a while, Cersei starts saying, I don't give a fuck.
Y'all just find out.
I'm the queen now.